Coach, this Nuggets team, extremely explosive offensively. What's going to be the key thing for you guys, knowing that they've run up the score a couple times?
Well, the thing about it, they're an up-and-down team. They're going to score 107, 106 points a game. They want a loose game. They want you to, they're going to let you score. They're giving up over 100 points a game. So they want an offensive-type game. They're very lethal. They're very good at it, especially with Ty Lawson with his speed and quickness. Andre Miller gets it up the floor more so on the pass. So they're a different type of team, but they're very explosive. And so what we've got to do is make sure we get back in transition, make sure we guard our man. One-on-one defense is going to be huge because they really rely on the draw and kick game. And then once the shot goes up, they're number one in the league in offensive rebounding. So we got to make sure we go find the body, keep them off the boards. Those three fundamentals. Because, being with George's not big on a lot of plays. He wants guys to play one-on-one offense and attack you off the dribble. And they've embraced that philosophy. They are very good at it, and that's why they're number 4 in the West.
How do you balance wanting to control the pace a little bit against a team that loves you so much, but at the same time, one of the reasons you got off to such a good start last game was you got all those pockets in transition.
Exactly. Well, the thing is, it's a balance. I think you got to have a balance, Eric. I think if you come down 2 or 3 times, you don't get a good look because of one pass, then a shot. You've got to come down because on the second and third pass, you will get a good look against an impatient team. And they're a very defensive, impatient team, if that makes sense. I mean, that's not saying they're bad. It's their philosophy. That's their style of play. And so we've got to, after 1 or 2 times coming down and coming up empty offensively, we got to make sure we get that second or third pass to get a better shot.
What have you made overall in your teams sort of picking up the pace a bit? Obviously, the year started and it didn't really work out. Have you sort of found that balance?
Well, we found the balance, but then one thing we're playing smaller, but it's also hurt us on the defensive end and rebounding. We've gotten punished a little bit from that standpoint, but we are playing a little bit faster. Our point output is up. Our three-point shooting attempts are up. But again, there is a balance. And playoff basketball is what you see with Indiana, Miami. And Miami is a different animal because of LeBron James. They run off their turnovers. They don't run, as a secondary break. They run when they turn you over. So all the good playoff teams have a good balance. They run when they have it, but again, when they have to come down in half court, their spacing is good. They set good screens. They set hard screens, and so they can still execute in a half-court game.
Boston held them to 92 points in regulation. Is there anything you can copy from that formula?
Well, Boston controlled the tempo. They play playoff basketball. It's not an up and down game, and so they impose their will on Denver. Now, if we can control tempo, again, I don't want to walk it down, but again, be selective and be smart in our running. We got to do that. But to get in a running game with Denver is not prudent. You got to be balanced and be smart with your running.
How impressed have you been with Jonas the past couple games?
Very impressed. His toughness, he's got his rhythm back. It took him a couple of games to get it back. He's playing a smart brand of basketball because he's getting in the right spots. He's setting good screens. And again, defensively, he's doing a good job on the other centers. I thought he did a very good job on Hibbert. And as the game went on, he did a better job on David West because he guarded him a little bit in the post. I think David scored a couple buckets, and that's what everyone remembered. But you don't remember the ones where he really used his length against him. So he's growing up. He's still making mistakes, but again, with Jonas, they're hard mistakes, and you can live with those as a coach. No, he didn't. He's still feeling the effects of the flu. It'd be a game-time decision with him, and so we'll see, where he is tonight at the game. Everybody else is fine. Yeah. So.
Do you think Denver's gotten a lot better since January, or is it more just they had to get through that hellish schedule at the beginning?
Like us, they're the other team that had the tough schedule, and they made it through it. One advantage they have is their home court. I mean, there's them in Utah. There's 2 of the toughest places, plus the drive. If you get on a back-to-back, you're there at 3 o'clock in the morning in your hotel. So that's a big-time home court advantage, plus their style of play. George has them playing in a great style. Again, George has always been an innovator as a coach. He brought me in the league. Back then, we were one of the teams that was switching everything, trapping everything, and he's always been ahead of the curve as far as style of play. He's imposed that style of play with his team.
What do you make of how Lawson's been playing lately?
He's been playing great. His speed is second to none. He got off to a little rough start at the beginning of the season, but now he's clicking on all cylinders, really quarterbacking, running the show, pushing the ball, making good decisions. So, Kyle and John's work's going to be cut out for them. And then you have just the opposite in Andre Miller, who's old school basketball player who does it with the pass. So they have a good contrast in their point guard combo.
George gets enough credit.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He's longevity, innovative. He thinks out of the box as a coach, which probably got him in trouble a lot as a young coach. But I love him. He's a good man. He's good for basketball. He speaks his mind. He's always doing something offensively and defensively that is kind of ahead of the curve. And, we all can't play his style of game, but, again, we can take something a little bit from what he does offensively or defensively and learn from it.
How important in this league is it for coaches to sort of think forward, think ahead to what's not necessarily there at the moment?
Well, some of it's called job security, You got job security. You can think out of the box and think ahead. Well, it just didn't work, But, again, you have to do that and really believe in it. And George has always done that. And that's why I learned from George. I don't coach to keep from getting fired, and I don't. You're talking about job security. If I didn't have another year on the contract, I still would coach the way I coach. And you've got to coach, and I learned this from George, not to in fear of losing your job. And that's the way I've always been, and George has always been that way back in the Seattle days. And it's really been beneficial to him, and it allows him to think out of the box.